Welcome to Rising Borno. My name is Sagir Ibrahim, and in the next 30 minutes, we will be showcasing the activities of the Borno State Governor, Professor Babagana Zulum, in transforming the state through development and building resilience among resettled communities. Let's get started. First, we take a look at the state government's pledge to collaborate with the University of Maiduguri to boost local revenue through agriculture and aquaculture, among others. Governor Zulum revealed this during a public lecture in honor of the outgoing Vice-Chancellor of the University of Maiduguri. Governor Zulum also promised to establish housing estates for the institution and to tackle challenges of electricity and other basic amenities lacking in the university. Governor Zulum lauded the outgoing Vice-Chancellor, Professor Aliu Shugaba, for the number of infrastructures and academic projects established despite the notable challenges confronting the institution.
His Eminence, the Deputy Speaker of the Borno State House of Assembly, members of the National Assembly that are here present, the Chairman of this very important occasion, Professor Amadi, the guest speaker, who is our boss, Professor Chedi, the Vice-Chancellors are here present, members of the Presidential Council, special advisors, my senior colleagues, professors at the university, non-academic staff here, soil register and other principal officers of this university. Good morning. Let me first and foremost begin by applauding the vision and tenacity of the organizers of this event for this great initiative of honoring one of our own, the outgoing Vice-Chancellor of the University of Maiduguri, Professor Aliu Shugaba, for his meritorious service as the Vice-Chancellor of the University of Maiduguri. Despite the challenges of insecurity, COVID-19 pandemic, somebody mentioned IPSAS, IPPS. Again, single treasury account. Professor Aliu Shugaba has done his best. The University of Maiduguri has witnessed relative peace during its tenure as the Vice-Chancellor of the University. He is a great speaker. He is a peace speaker. That is something that we cannot take away from Professor Aliu. His humane and humble person. I congratulate him on job well done. I have listened attentively to the citation of the guest speaker that was read by the MC. Unfortunately, the MC refused to disclose the date of birth of Professor Chedi.
Now, to add to the executive governor himself being an alumnus of this university, working with alumni of the university, you expect no less than what he is doing for the state. We thank you very much, Your Excellency, for all that we have done together for the University of Maiduguri and for the state as well. I assure you that the community service talked about by the guest speaker, and which was also responded to by your humble self, Your Excellency, would be taken very seriously by the university. we have, in the last 5 years, tried to activate some of our dead channels, and I can assure you that many potential areas of potential development have now been opened up. It is just for us to focus on them and generate those areas of potential development for the state as well as for the university. Together we can make it happen. And making it happen is something that the University of Maiduguri is very well known for. Let me also thank the Sheikh of Borno, Alhaji Dr. Umar Ibn Garbai El-Kanemi, for the fatherly role that he has played to this university throughout the period of my leadership in this university. We have maintained a very close relationship with the palace of the Sheikh of Borno and by extension with all other traditional rulers in the state. We wish to thank His Royal Highness, His Eminence, for making it possible for us to work together, to seek for advice and be given advice as and when due. I also wish to thank in a very special way the Emir of Biu for what he has been doing in terms of advising the Vice Chancellor and praying for the Vice Chancellor to be able to deliver on his mandate and to also be able to carry people along. We have had the talk on leadership by the guest speaker, and it means that the leader needs a lot of prayers. And that is why if people keep praying for a leader in a negative way, then whatever that leader does will also affect them. But if you pray positively for your leaders, you will get positive actions from him and he will deliver on his mandate. I have received a lot of prayers from individuals, from leaders, and from friends and well-wishers. And my disposition is such that I do not despise anybody. I try to take the very good things that I get from every single person who has admonished me in whichever way. My success, as is being said, I have always said, is not my success alone. It is the success of all of us that have come together to work for the common good of this university. And I have always said, whatever was achieved under my leadership in this university, some of them were purely my own ideas, some of them were the ideas of my colleagues, whether in top management or from within the university community. I have never, ever dismissed anything coming from anybody. First and foremost, I have always considered whatever advice that is given to me, and I have always looked at it in terms of the overall benefit for the university. And this is why we have been able to come this far. And this is why we have been able to record some successes. I am glad quite a number of my colleagues, vice chancellors of other universities who have visited this university, have always asked me, where do you get the resources to do all of these things? And I've always said that God Almighty has listened to our prayers and answered our prayers. But most importantly too, we have always been thinking outside the box, not always relying on what government will give us. We have also gone out to philanthropists and donor agencies, and we have been able to get what we can get from them. May I now talk about the Borno Elders Forum. This is a forum that we have remained very close to, and that is perhaps why the chairman of this great occasion is the secretary of the forum. And he has personally related with this university in a very positive way since the time I was Deputy Vice Chancellor Academic Services in this university. One day, he visited our entrepreneurship center and he made some comments. And he talked about the need to sustain these kind of developments. I am happy to inform you that apart from our existing Center for Entrepreneurship and Enterprise Development, we have also secured a donation in terms of a building worth over 1 billion naira from the chairman of BOA. And that is opening up a whole lot of channels of collaboration with the university, from UNDP, from TED Fund, and from many other organizations. So I want to thank Dr. Bula Momadi Rubio for being a very close friend of the university and for also bringing the Borno Elders Forum closer to the university. The Honorable Commissioners, I am sure that I know 95% of the Honorable Commissioners by name, and some of them we have had interactions together over some years. Some of them are my good friends. Some of them are people who have known and I have known them to be very good gentlemen, very hardworking, very enterprising in some cases, and they try to advise you, and you get the best of advice from them. Thank you very much for being part of the progress of the university as well. Some of the special advisors to His Excellency, like I said previously with the commissioners and members of the Executive Council, are also alumni of this university, whom he has picked and tasked them with the responsibility of being special advisors. And I see most of them making good progresses. There is one of my students in biochemistry who is now serving the executive governor as one of his security, I think that is one of the things that would still want to thank his executive, the executive governor of Borno State, His Excellency, Professor Engineer Umar for.
The governor also, in the course of the week, while receiving food palliatives from NEMA, commended President Ahmed Bola Tinubu for the gesture that will cushion the effects of economic hardships in the state. He stated this during the official handover of assorted food commodities for vulnerable persons in Borno State. The Director General of the National Emergency Management Agency, represented by the Borno Zonal Officer Muhammad Aji, said the President directed it to present 37 bags of maize, millet and sorghum to the state as part of the federal government's renewed hope agenda to reduce hunger among the population. Meanwhile, Governor Zulum appreciated President Tinubu and assured that the food palliatives will be distributed to the most vulnerable communities in the state.
Competence of the capabilities of the federal government of Nigeria under the leadership of His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR. You will recall that in fulfillment of his response to reduce the impact of the current economic downturn being experienced in the country, in line with his renewed hope agenda, Mr. President approved the release of 42 metric tons of associated food commodities from the National Strategic Players Reserve under the custody of Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Security. The assorted food commodities include maize, millet, sorghum, and garri. The distributed stakeholders, after sharing the commodities and successfully transporting the quantities allocated to Borno State, today we are here to hand over the items to the Borno State government for distribution to the deserving beneficiaries. It is worthy to note that the items allocated to the state are as follows. 1. 594 metric tons of maize, equivalent to 11,880 bags. 2. 252 metric tons of millet, equivalent to 5,130 bags. Then 3. 972 metric tons of sorghum, equivalent to 19,440 bags. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is therefore my singular honor and pleasure to, on behalf of the federal government of Nigeria, hand over the associate great anthem to the governor of Borno State.
I want to acknowledge the receipt of about 37,000 bags of 50 kg assorted grains donated to the people of Borno State by the federal government of Nigeria under the distinguished leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Therefore, on behalf of the most vulnerable population of the North State, I want to express my sincere appreciation to the federal government under the leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for his continuous support to the less privileged people in our state, not only in our state, but indeed the northeastern states and in Nigeria in general. I want to assure the President, I want to assure the Federal Minister of Agriculture, I want to assure NEMA that these food items shall be distributed to the most vulnerable population. I want to also assure you that no any diversion will be found in the Borno State. These properties will be strictly and meticulously distributed to the dividing people of the Borno State. And I also want to specifically commend the federal government for all the other support that has been rendering to we, the sub-nationals. What we are witnessing here is the handing over of food items. But apart from the food items, we have been receiving a lot of support from the federal government. And I think it's better for us than university support, not only in the area of food support, but we are also receiving additional funding from the federal government in order to strengthen the resilience of the community. On this note, once again, I want to commend the federal government, I want to commend the Federal Minister of Agriculture, I want to commend the Office of the Vice President, I want to commend NEMA, I want to commend SEMA, and I also want to commend the Office of the National Security Advisor for this great initiative. And the rest are assured that these properties will be distributed to the less privileged people.
The Borno State Governor has again reiterated commitment to providing an enabling environment for the development of communities in order to help the less privileged in the state. To this end, he commissioned digital literacy centers and teachers' quarters in Damasak and Gubbio local government areas and also distributed cash and other materials to women in Damasak community. On the first day of his trip to the local government with the Minister of State, Water Resources and Sanitation, Governor Zulum supervised the distribution of items and cash worth 42 million naira to 4,200 women in Magumeri Council. They proceeded to commission the Digital Literacy Center and Teachers' Quarters in Damasak area of Mobar local government. He also commissioned similar projects in Gubbio local government.
It is my singular honor and privilege to commission this teachers' quarters here in Damasak to the glory of God and to the benefit of humanity.
The governor also inspected the irrigation schemes in Magumeri and Mobar community, where he disclosed that the support for local farmers is to boost food production and food security in the state while creating jobs for the youth. The Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation, Bello Coronio, pledged to support the initiative in order to sustain the project. Governor Zulum thereafter inspected the ongoing construction of Mega High Islamic School in Mobar. He expressed satisfaction with the contractors handling the project. He also commissioned the completed Vocational Training Institute in Magumeri town. The center comprises different trade skills which include tailoring, shoemaking, metalworks, cosmetics, tie and dye, among others. Maiduguri residents have called on Governor Zulum to sustain the good works of development and transformation witnessed in the state as he marks 1 year in office for his second term. The residents said they've seen massive construction of road networks, flyovers, schools, subsidized public transportation and distribution of food palliatives across the state and resettled communities to cushion the effects of economic hardships. They urged the government to focus on job creation, empowerment and tackle insecurity in the northeast. They hope that the federal government will reduce fuel and food commodities.
So actually he has done a lot within that short period of 1 year in terms of infrastructural development, human capital development and poverty eradication. Provision of transport to people within Maiduguri and environments through the Borno Express Transport Corporation or company and so on and so forth.
We have seen commitments in youth empowerment and engagements, including women. We have seen development in micro businesses and small and medium businesses. So we can say and the footprints, his activities, or his development, his achievements are clearly written boldly everywhere you can see. So Governor Babagana Umar Zulum's administration is commendable, excellent. We want to see more of youth engagement, youth empowerment, youth employment. He has already been doing it, but we want to see more in that regard. We want to see more youths being engaged, being employed, because you see, he has been saying it all around that the root causes of insurgency has to be addressed, and one of it is pervasive illiteracy and abject poverty.
The number of developments, the number of projects on ground cannot be, counted because they are all over. Anywhere you are within metropolis, 300 meters from wherever you are, you see very massive infrastructural projects going on, from the construction of culverts to roads to overhead bridges to clinics to hospitals, etc. This is happening today, right now as we are, and we are optimistic that by the end of the year, all the lofty objectives of the year's budget, inshallah, are going to be met.
Borno State Governor Babagana Zulum has described the threat of ISWAP terrorists on Kukawa residents as weak and seeking cheap popularity. He disclosed this during a visit to Baga town to discuss security strategies against displacement of communities and how to avoid reoccurrence. It will be recalled that Kukawa was attacked and threatened by ISWAP terrorists last week. The reported attack is the reason Governor Zulum visited the town to meet with military officers to discuss solutions to these threats, among others.
Boko Haram have went to Kukawa and they have issued some notice to the people that they will come and displace them if they refuse to vacate the town. You may recall that displacement has not taken place in Borno State for the last 4 years, and under no circumstances we shall allow Boko Haram to displace our communities again. So I'm here to discuss the matter with the Nigerian army and then see how possible best we can abort such situation that did not reoccur for the last 4 years. Yes, their strength are very weak, but they just want to, get cheap popularity. But I believe we have enough strength here in Baga and in Cross in order to address the issue of Kukawa. Yes, I've spoken with the theater commander, I've spoken with the sector commander, I've spoken with the brigade commander, and then all things equal, everything will be in good shape.
The governor, while in Baga town, donated 10 golf cars, 15 tricycles to the National Union of Road Transport Workers and the Road Transport Employees Association of Nigeria. He also presented 15 vehicles to fishing communities.
We are willing to resuscitate the South Chad irrigation scheme in Baga, but most importantly, we are here also to support the community. You have seen the visit that we had to Damasak a few days ago. Here we have an opportunity even better than that of Damasak. What we need is to support the farmers. And I've directed that the farmers will be profiled so that they should be given agricultural input. We shall support them through the World Bank supported program, which is AgriSal and NG Cares, in addition to what we have. But be rest assured that this community will regain its lost glory. Another very important thing that we have discussed is the issue of the waterways, the route from here to the Republic of Chad through the waterways. This has also been discussed with the naval component. So these are the main reasons that we are here. We are also here to support the Nigerian Union of Road Transport Workers and then other organizations that are here that are in need of Borno State government support.
The governor thereafter visited the South Chad irrigation scheme to distribute farm inputs and subsidize petroleum products. And that's it on Rising Borno. See you again next week for more interesting episodes. Until then, bye for now. My name is Sagiru.